Hello everyone, how are we all doing this week? Hard to believe that we are into September and a new month and yet again another new week. I hope that we're all safe and well. Those that are on holidays, you know the drill. Enjoy and bring back a little bit of sunshine. Got a little bit chilly here, but we won't complain. It's a great day and the sun is shining. As long as the rain stays away, I think that we're all happy. So all positive vibes this week. So we have special offers in class, special offer for our new or rejoin members. We even had cake in class. Which is good. So make sure that we're trying the recipes as well. The recipes are really simple and quick. Great lunch ideas coming up at the moment. And obviously lunch ideas can then fall through for tea time ideas or maybe snack ideas. But again, this week's talk is a series leading on from last week. It's quite deep into the psychology of weight loss and weight gain. And that's why I'm following through with it for the month of September. I got such positive feedback from the members on last week's talk. You found it really, really beneficial. So I want us to keep us in that zone, keep us in the right mindset. So it's a little bit like when we drive a car or drive a bike or even walking down the road. If we're walking, we have to get our mind in gear that we're going to walk. If we're driving or on a bike, we have to put the car in gear, we have to pedal, or we have to steer the steering wheel. So like that, on our weight loss journey, we have to do the same. We have to steer, we have to get ourselves in gear, and it's all about the mindset. As I always say, there's no point in me standing in class every week talking about food labels, because we generally know what we should or shouldn't have. And there's no such thing as bad food. It's everything in moderation. And if we're unsure of labels, just to ask within the group. So that's why I really work on the psychology of it, getting our minds in gear, because once the mind is in gear, then it's a knock-on effect for our weight loss and also for our health, which is what this is really about at the end of the day. So this week's talk, you know that I'm quite limited in what I can record on WhatsApp and send. The time frame is quite limited compared to what I can talk about in class. So really, to cover the main points, this week's talk is titled From Comfort Zone to Growth. So we are creatures of habit and we love the comfort zone. And you might be saying, why are we talking about comfort zone? I'm happy in the comfort zone. And that's sometimes where the problem lies, that it's a little bit like Groundhog Day, that we are in the comfort zone, we're afraid to break outside, that we are afraid of change. And listen, I'm one of the biggest offenders of that. I don't adapt well to change whatsoever. But when there's change, then you'd be surprised how quick that you adapt. Like even, for instance, myself and Sam was talking over the weekend, how quick you adapt. Like when we moved to this house and then getting used to your surroundings, the different noises in the house, and that's something that's quite simple. But we were so set in our routine and our habits in the old house that we thought that to change that was going to be like life changing, but it wasn't. The way you can just get along with things in life, the mind is a great thing, the way we can just carry on. So really in the comfort zone, that's where we start to feel safe, and we're afraid of change. Okay, so what I want us to do is get out of the comfort zone, because when we're in the comfort zone, sometimes what happens is we get same old results. So it's a little like I talk from week to week about a food diary. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talking about it, but yes, some members, and you might be that member, you just won't keep a food diary because you've never done it. We're afraid to try it. We're afraid of what the results is going to be, even though I'm promising you it's going to be positive results. So I want us to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, break through that circle, that visual circle that is in the class this week and also in the talk. We have different zones. So in that zone, there's also going to be a fear zone, okay? What happens in the fear zone? And remember, this is all about small steps, taking small steps in the right direction, prioritise. But the comfort zone is where we feel safe. And I get that, okay? But it's no harm in trying new things, okay? Especially on our weight loss journey and in life in general. The fear zone is where we have low confidence, okay? And that's really comes in our weight loss journey when we don't have the confidence and we feel that we don't really deserve to be on our health journey. We don't deserve to lose weight. And members have said that to me, that they don't feel that they deserve to be there seeing the weight loss, having their own weight loss every week. So it's crazy how the mind actually thinks. Also in there that we're quite problem focused, that we look for the problem in everything. And you might know people like that in life, in your family, acquaintances, work colleagues, that sometimes you'd love them just to say, think outside the box. Don't keep giving me problems. As I always say, don't give me a problem, give me the solution. I don't want to hear about problems. And I'm not talking about members, I'm talking about in life. But sometimes we can find the problems quite easy and we're very quick for the obstacles, put the obstacles and the excuses and the reasons in there. And we're quite influenced by others when we're in the fear zone. So how does that apply on our weight loss journey? Sometimes people say, I'm sick of hearing you're always on a programme, and you've always been big, and All those different things is in there, and we look for other people, as we talked about last week, other people's approval. Our time is limited, so it's really important that we make the most of our time. We can be influenced by others. Sometimes people say, oh, she'd be a long time dead, you may as well live it up. We're after being in lockdown, sure, eat and drink what you want and be merry, and all that is in there. But they're not the people that have to live our lives, or the people that have to step on the scales, or they have to deal with their mental health every day by maybe carrying that extra bit of weight, that confidence that goes in it, not being able to wear clothes that we want, not wanting to socialise, not sleeping great, low energy, low mood. All that is in there. But people are very quick to give their opinion, and are opinionated, like what we talked about last week. So not to be influenced by others, break through that comfort zone and do this for you on your weight journey and also on your life journey. Okay. Also in there is that we find excuses. The blame game is in there as well. I can't succeed. He keeps bringing in chips every week. The kids keep bringing in chocolates every week. There's always going to be someone to blame, or there's always a birthday, or there's always work. They always bring something in. They're like my sister-in-law. She's a radiographer and she works in a hospital, obviously, and she always say it's very hard to do it because there's always chocolates in the canteen and there's always chocolates on the desk. But if you want something bad enough, you have to just bypass the chocolates, because there is always going to be that excuse there. So this is about a life journey and changing things in general. So what happens when we start to leave that fear zone and we're starting to get a little bit cocky, a little bit confident to do that? We start to enter in the learning zone. And this one, I love this one, and obviously the next one. In the learning zone, we start looking for opportunities. So again, that's in life and also on our weight loss journey. We look for opportunities. Well, how can I be consistent? We might pick up on someone in class on their little tip every week, and you might see, well, every week they're losing weight, and so we zone in on them and we listen and we say, well, what's your tip? How did you do that this week? So we look for opportunities in life to change things, so that, because we do feel safe in that comfort zone, but sometimes we say, God, my life is so mundane, it's the same thing day in, day out, it's the same thing, and we do actually want change. It's just that fear of breaking outside it. Also in there is that we extend the comfort zone when we're in this learning zone. We start to ask questions because we feel confident about asking questions, because sometimes, I get it, it can be quite daunting in a room, especially if we're in class, and maybe to ask a question, even though we're with like-minded people. It can be a little bit daunting, and sometimes members will say to me, will you ask this within the group? And that's absolutely fine, and eventually you'll get out of that and be confident to ask those questions. And again, in life, to ask questions, well, why is there's no harm in asking questions? And sometimes members say to me, I don't want to be bothering you asking questions. You're not bothering. Life is about learning, and knowledge is key. How are you going to learn if you don't ask questions? I've had to ask millions of questions, and that's the way that we learn. We're willing to make change, so we're willing to keep the food dry, we're willing to drink our 2 litres of water every day, we're willing to have the right snacks in and not to sabotage ourselves. So like that, we're not just doing same old, getting the same old results from week in, week out, because after a while we're going to get bored of that, we're going to leave the group. The weight is going to go up, unfortunately. As we talked about last week, only 1% of members come back either the same weight or down weight when they leave. 99% will have put all the weight back on, if not more, when we leave, because we think that we know what we're doing. So when we're willing to make change, to see change, and that's why I always encourage you to make one change every week. And it might take 6 months to master drinking 2 litres of water a day. That's okay. You don't have to get all this right in a week or in a day. When you've mastered that, then what we can do is we can move on. That's just a wind opening that door. We can move on to the next change. So once we master water, we tackle the food diary, then we tackle the nighttime meeting, then we make sure we're having our snacks. And this is a journey, and this is a work in progress. Also in there that we're good at solving problems. We start thinking outside the box then. Also, what we do is we start learning skills. So we might take a new college course, try something new like knitting. For me, I'm taking on new classes this week. I'm really pushing myself out of comfort zone. I will be talking more about that in the class. It's daunting to me, I'm afraid. I'm trying to think of excuses even now of how I'm going to avoid it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to push it, and I'm going to give you the feedback on it. But that's what I'm doing. I'm things that I want to do, but because Thursday I did this or Friday I did this, blow it out of the water. Thursday and Friday, schedule changes, and that's fine because clothing needs to do something new. Then we take on challenges. So it's not that fight or flight. We're starting to fight. So we're fighting and we're tackling challenges head on rather than fleeing the situation and running a mile, comfort eating, scales going up, clothes getting tight, mood being low, low energy, all that is in the mix. So then what we do is we go into our growth zone. And remember, this is probably not going to be a linear experience. This is going to be peaks and troughs as we go through these different zones. And that's what life is about. And that's what makes it interesting, folks. So when we get to the growth zone, what happens is that we're starting to set goals. So we set goals like for the month of September, we're going to lose 7 to 10 pounds. In October, we have 5 weeks. What's realistic? Another 10 pounds is what's there. So we start setting goals, and we start setting goals about prioritising ourselves, which is really important. Prioritising our time. That's what those messages in the morning is really pushing. And remember that the best sailors aren't born in smooth waters. Okay, so there's one for you. Also what we do is that we start having high self-esteem, we start having confidence, we start wearing the clothes that we want, the colours that we want, we start socialising, going to places that we didn't really feel comfortable going. We start finding purpose, okay, that we get up in the morning and we look forward to the day, we're tackling on, we're not saying, oh, here we go again, work again, and this and that mundane attitude. We start losing weight, and we're consistently losing weight. Then what we have is we have a vision. So we have the vision, we can say, right, by February, by March, by May, by June, whenever it's going to be, I'll be at my goal and no one is going to stop me except me. And that is a personal decision if you want to stop yourself. But I know none of you are here to stop yourself. You're here to succeed. And that's about losing weight and seeing that vision of that long haul, that final destination where we're all aiming for. But the journey is going to have all this swings and roundabouts in the meantime. But our eyes is on the prize. It's like, say when swimmers stand on that podium, or any Olympian stands on that podium and they're in number one place, they don't just say, well, that's grand, that's fine, I'm after doing that. They're going to go again for their next personal best and always be on top of their game, because they're always going to have competition. So we have to be on our A game. You start believing in yourself, you start valuing yourself, that you deserve this. Your health is your wealth. You start prioritising yourself, really, really important. Again, that's something that I'm pushing myself this week, because we can lose ourselves. And that's okay, but we need to find ourselves again, okay? We start getting motivation, we start achieving our goals, we get our £7 sticker, we get our stone, we get our paper clips, we're hitting targets. And that's really what it is about, is reaching our targets and get really focusing on ourselves. Push yourself out of that comfort zone where it feels safe, that's okay. Baby steps, and that's what it is. Small steps, prioritise, master one change. And remember your little motto for this week: if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Okay, so out of that comfort zone into your growth zone this week, folks. I want you to have a great week. You know the drill, positive or negative feedback. Just give me a text or give me a little phone call. But I hope you enjoyed the video and you're enjoying the talks. I want us all to stay really safe. Housekeeping as well. If we can just make sure that we're wearing our masks, keep ourselves safe the best way that we can. Have an absolutely fabulous week, and we will see less of each other next week. Drink the water and keep the food diary. One change to see big results this week. Have a fantastic week, and thank you everyone for your support. Big hugs and kisses. Mwah!